Hi, everyone. My name is Josh. Welcome to the live broadcast. We do this every single weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk to entrepreneurs, people just like me, building eBay businesses, building e-commerce businesses, and growing those businesses. And for us, we grow our business through artificial intelligence, List Easier Artificial Intelligence. We are seeing a blue sky opening where this software will allow us to scale our systems very quickly. So we are building these bulletproof processes and systems, and we're using the artificial intelligence listing software to scale it very quickly. So you will see that in this chat, many or most serious resellers, business owners are doing the same thing. They're using the software to scale their business, and we kind of just all talk about what we're up to and what we're doing and what's working and what's not. And walking the long mile of growing and scaling. And so far, I have really enjoyed this, and I hope to continue to enjoy it for a long period of time. So I'm going to click my own live here. There we are. It's not. There's a little bit of chatter, and we are live. There we are. So what's changed in the last 48 hours for List Easier, either side of the business? Nothing really. I think all the cassettes are listed now. There are some 45s that we have to list, and then 2 Gaylords of CDs. But again, we're waiting on this nightmare truck to show up. So I don't know. I offered to drive it myself. I had my D license. I don't have it anymore. So maybe I can't drive it anymore, but I would drive it myself here and we could unload it. It's just a matter of getting it here. Apparently there's a problem with the trucking company where a driver quit or a truck was stolen or something. I don't really know. But our stuff is safely in a warehouse that is about 50 miles from here. So we could conceivably pick it up if we had to, like rent a truck and pick it up. It's just that there's a lot of weight. I think those pallets are at least 5,000 pounds of pallets, so it's 15,000 pounds. We got to get a pretty big truck. That's more than a U-Haul can take, really. You're gonna have to think about a triaxle truck at that point. So this is kind of the situation we're in with this. Maybe we do it one at a time. I don't really know. We got to figure it out though, because we got to get the stuff here. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. That's the thing that's kind of on my mind. Yesterday was a big catch-up day for me. Catching up on a bunch of things that have, again, they're just kind of slipping by that I have to really focus on. So I was doing that until the early evening. After that, I had my son's baseball practice, and I was zonked after that. I was exhausted. But that's pretty much it. So nothing new and exciting. It's just work as usual. It's this steady as she goes, reliable. We know what we got to do. Our processes are strong, and we just keep doing it over and over and over and over again. That's what we're up to right now. So we're seeing strong growth. We're seeing our numbers move, and we can see the goalposts or the empire, the palace at the end. It's just very, very far away. So we have to walk the distance. We have to swim the ocean to get to the other side. We have just put our toes in the water, and we're going to start our swim. We know we can do it. It's going to take a long time. So that's what's going on. Again, List Easier, the software. We have a lot of people from the UK signing up. So there's this big flux of people coming in from the UK. That has been keeping everybody busy because there's a time change there. So when we're communicating with customers from the UK, it's, there's a time difference. So there's that. And if you have sent me an email starting from last night to this morning, I have not responded to any of my emails. I apologize. I will get to it after this show. But I had a lot to pack and ship this morning on my own personal account, but also there's some drama happening with my friends and their YouTube accounts, and we were kind of talking about that as well. So that kind of occupied the morning for me. What else? Let's talk about some numbers here. List Easier _records, List Easier _books. Those are the 2 accounts that are live for us on eBay that are helping us construct the document. What is the document? The document is we are going to list $100 million worth of product on eBay. So $100 million worth of listed product. We are currently sitting at $199,378.93. Excellent numbers. We have a total of 8,773 listings. Incredible. 38 days live, and our revenue is $9,687.82. We still have not achieved top rated seller status. This has to go to 90 days for us to unlock that. So we are still in our new account verification holds. That's fine. It is what it is. I am extremely satisfied with this progress. Very happy. And I'm excited to see what this looks like in the coming years, the coming months, years, and even decade. I mean, we're going to be doing this for 9 years. That's our goal. So in 9 years, we hit this number. Okay. So we're going to go, I guess, right to the chat. The topic is just steady as she goes. And, I don't know what to really expand upon that. We are in the boring middle right now. Everyone who's watching this, it would be wrong of me, but I almost want to come on here and be like, oh, it's exciting and we're doing this and we're doing that and all this other stuff. But this is just the middle part now where we're not starting really anything new. We're just moving forward every single day. Like we like the process, like turning on the machine or turning on a light switch. First time you do it, it's like, oh, there's light. We did all the wiring. We did all the lights and everything. It works. Everything works. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. Now it's just like we turn on the lights and the lights exist. List Easier, the software is the same way. Early on it was exciting and, we're innovating, we're doing all this stuff and we still do that. But now, like our users are like, no, this is just what I use. This is what I use for my business. It's part of the infrastructure now. So it's a big change where we went from innovating. Well, we still innovate, but it was like this time where we're launching and it's busy and it's crazy and all this stuff. And now people just use it, and they don't talk about it. It's like Windows or eBay or I don't know. It's infrastructure now. It's what you use to grow your business on eBay, period. End of story, no debate. This List Easier, the document, is going to look like this every single day. And there's nothing I can say or do to be like juicing this and be like, oh, it's exciting. We got this great. We got this, we got that. It is a lot of the same every single day. It's going to be a lot of the same every single day. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. It means the process is good. So the days are looking the same. And when the processes are good like that, it allows us to focus on other things outside of the business, like partnerships, integrations, innovations, research and development, all this other stuff. And better deals, like getting good deals on stuff as well. As James got a really good deal on stuff. So check out James' channel. But I'm a little bit bummed for my friends, I'm going to be honest with you. So that's probably why I'm not super charged. Like, I don't like seeing that with John and Beard. That it's bumming me out a bit, honestly. So, I feel a little bit down because I'm helpless. There's nothing I can do. Spam Banshee says, hello, good to see you. Spam In It to Flip It says, hello, good to see you. Classic Phase, hello, good to see you. Howdy, Josh. Joe, good to see you. Ren Resale says, I'm sure he's aware, but John's channel is hacked. Yeah, I saw that. It's kind of bumming me out. I don't know what, he's working hard on it. I don't know what the whole thing is there. Something about some kind of sponsor that sent him an email and took some credentials or something. It sounds awful. It sounds like a nightmare. I feel bad for him. It's brutal because John has put a lot of time and effort into his account. He loves YouTube. He truly loves YouTube. So I do feel bad for him. JR Rodefer says, here we go again. Here we go again, JR. Here we go again. Bearded Picker Conspiracy says, make me a mod again. I'm having a bad day. Okay, but now I got to figure out how to do that. This is Beard's new channel for now until he gets sorted. Let me figure out how to do it. I got to find my own live first, Scott. Today's upside down, everyone. We're going to have those. I don't even see my own live. I don't even see my own live. Am I live right now? Of course I am. How come I don't see it? Scott, I'm not even published as being live right now. Oh my gosh. Sorry, everybody. This is going to be a tough one. There we are. We're live. Let me make Scott a mod and try and make his day a little bit better. Oh, why? Why must it happen this way? Okay, done, Scott. J.R. Rodeffer says, by the way, what is an extraction error? Do we have to be serious? What is an extraction error? No, we don't have to be serious today. What is an extraction error? I guess it means it's an error extracting something. In its flip, it says, quick question. In Flex, is there a way to change the category if AI gets it wrong? Again, I'm probably just missing it. No, in it to flip it. So when you use AI categorization, it will pull it on the right-hand side what the categories are. If you don't agree with the category or you don't want that category, just click on it before you generate the listing. So you can't do it after you generate the listings, it has to be before generation. Click on it, and then you can change the category by just going down to the bottom of the box, and it will say select a category. But AI will even recommend a second category in case you didn't like the first one. Just do it before you send it, you generate the listing. Once you generate the listing, you're telling it everything is green light and good to go. You agree with it, and then there's kind of no going back on that. You got to catch that before you send it live to or you send it into generation. Andy Reno from Indiana says, good afternoon, Mr. Galt and chat. How's everyone doing? Everyone is doing well. And at the flip, it says, I heard what happened and now I can't find you. Yes, Scott's gone. Scott's channel's gone. Diane Matthews says, hello all. Good to see you, Diane. Welcome, welcome. Bearded Picker says, ketchup day. Do you eat ketchup chips? Beard King Picker Alex is trolling Bearded Picker, I think. You have to be on Scott's live or Todd's live this morning to get that. Bearded Picker says, this is my backup account working on getting undeleted from YouTube. Snoopy Collector says, hello with the red hand shooting the blood from the fingers. J.R. Rodeffer says, Bearded Picker, you were deleted. It's happening to Flippin' Ain't Easy too. Brutal, yes. Beard King Picker says, good morning. Good morning. Just because you asked what happened to the podcast, we are coming back soonish. That's good. That is with it was all slipping my mind. It's been a long day and a long night. I hope you guys come back, Alex. I hope you guys come back. I hope you come back. It would be nice to see you guys back on YouTube. My mind is not in the proper zone right now. Diane Vanderlinden says, thanks, Beard. Now I have to get some chips. Ketchup chips is that's a uniquely Canadian experience, I think. Beard King Picker says, Scott offended too many people and YouTube finally banned him. Possible. It is possible. Beard is on my friends list. Den Decker Depot says, good day, Josh. Brutal day yesterday. Not much better today, but we keep the feet moving. No choice. I had a slow day. I don't even remember. Today's a slow day for me in sales. I think yesterday was okay. I don't really know. Things are changing on the platform. Things are changing. I'm just, again, all this stuff for me, I'm just going to zoom out and just keep going and going. I know what I have to do. You know, for this, the document, I know what has to be done. We just keep going. Slow day, fast day, doesn't really matter. We're just going to keep going. You know, so that's my mindset with that. Yeah, I am out of it today, guys. I got to lock in here. I feel a little bit out of it. I feel bad I talked to John for probably half an hour. I do feel very bad for him. It does not make me feel good. What's going on there? Rob Special Interest says, hi, Josh, back in the game. Good, Rob. If you didn't catch me earlier, Rob, if you've sent me an email because of all the drama going on this morning and all the shipping that I had to do. I have not answered emails yet, but I will after this broadcast. I'm going to sit down and go through my emails, but I am behind. I'm about 6 or 8 hours behind on my emails. So if you haven't heard back from me, just hang in there. It's been a wild, crazy morning, but I will get to it. John J. UK says, "Hey Josh, I wondered why I got a YouTube video from Flippin' Ain't Easy about Bitcoin." Yeah, he's working hard to try and get that account not to do that, but I don't know. Something happened where somebody wanted to sponsor him, and then you had to click on the sponsor. Which, if you're a YouTube creator, you get those every single day. I never even open those emails. I'm like, I just don't believe it ever. Call me cynical. Or I don't believe in their product. But if you click on it, sometimes bad things can happen. I think that's what's going on with him. So with John, it was with good intent, but it seems like something bad might have happened there, which is too bad. Like says, this part of a new business launch is where my attention wanes. Lag likes the middle, the meat and potatoes, the middle part of it, the mashed potatoes every single day. We eat mashed potatoes every day, and we don't change a thing. That's what it is. Lucky Fine says, "Good morning, all. It's motivation time." Good to see you, Lucky Finds. Welcome, welcome. Andy Reno says, "So who's banned, John or Scott?" They both are. I believe Scott, I don't know what the exact reason was for Scott's, but John's account has been hacked, and that is still going on. Where Michael Saylor is broadcasting some AI version of himself selling Bitcoins on John's channel. Steve Vash says, "Good afternoon. Good to see you, Steve." James Helferstay says, "I get several of those collab emails every day." Yeah. I watched a video on how they work and how they take your channel. I ignore them all. I do too. I don't trust any of it. I just assume that it's all just like scammers and stuff. But, sometimes it looks legit, and, it's, I don't know. Matt's127 says, "Hi from the UK. I want to upgrade from standard to growth on my next billing date, which is February 14th. Can I do it now, or do I wait for that date to upgrade?" You can do either, Matt. I would say the best way to do it, Matt, is to go to customer support, the customer support tab, in your profile on List Easier, and then just type a message. "Hey, Dave, it's me, Matt. Look, I'm crushing through my inventory. I got a pile of stuff I want to get listed. I want to cash in on it now. I would like to upgrade. Can you help me out?" And of course, Dave's going to help you out with that. He'll get you set up. That's probably the best way. James says, "This is the first I heard about both. It's crazy." Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. Penny Pincher says, "Do you think we are headed to universal basic income?" No, I don't think so. For some people, yes. My opinion, and this is broadly speaking, is every generation has its era of jobs, like a market that really breaks open. So for my parents' generation, baby boomers, it was manufacturing. You would work at the factory. Um, yeah, you would work at the factory, like a steel plant or whatever, auto manufacturing, and you'd make a ton of money. You'd go right out of high school, and everybody got paid a lot of money, and that was the big industry. When it was offshored, when it came to my generation, we are the computer generation, like the internet generation. I'm going to skip a few generations, like the forgotten generation and millennials a little bit, but we're like the computer generation. So internet came when we grew up with internet, like it just started coming out, and then when we were graduating university and high school, that's where all the opportunity was with these big internet companies, the dot-com boom, all this other stuff. uh, Now, and there are other industries that have come up and down, like real estate does its cyclical thing and everything else, of course. Now it looks like artificial intelligence is going to be the big industry for generation Gen Z and the millennials, right? It's going to be artificial intelligence. And then probably for my son's generation, Generation Alpha or Generation Z or whatever, I don't know what they are. I think it's going to be aerospace. So in my lifetime, people are going to be landing on the moon and Mars, and there's going to be a whole frontier of work there that has to be done as well. So I just think that what gets done changes with technology. So where the work is changes with technology. Old jobs become redundant and they don't do them anymore. That doesn't mean everybody goes to UBI. It just means that the job market shifts from one place to another. I think aerospace is going to be huge. I think most people on the planet with an education could work in aerospace when we start moving into the cosmos. And artificial intelligence is largely going to be the base for that. Build robots, and they can build stuff out in space for us. It's all going to happen 100%. I don't want to sound like a kooky conspiracy theorist, but that's the direction I think it's going to go. UBI, I don't know. The problem with universal basic income, and this is way off topic, guys, and I shouldn't even go here, but once you pay everybody the same amount of money, then the money loses value and it doesn't buy the same things anymore. And things just get more expensive. So you have to raise the floor. And if you raise the floor, everything gets more expensive again. It's a supply versus demand thing. Mike Seller, South Dakota says, greetings, Josh and chat. Good to see you. Rob, special interest, says, shame you didn't open your emails. Sent you a wicked AI photo of you in the cap. I will, Rob. I will. It's been bonkers this morning. So I haven't had a chance, but I will respond to everything. I feel like after this live, I feel mostly caught up. Also, the Profit Playbook podcast, as far as we know, that's gone too. So that looks like it's been wiped out in this whole credential kind of leak that's happened through this email phishing scam that's been going on with John. So I feel bad for the guy. This is not right. Dende Cordipo says that's just it. We know what we need to do. One foot in front of the other. Bearded Picker says, keep pushing. Listings create sales. They will eventually break through. I'm selling so much list easier stuff. Yeah. Scott, I think he did 100, packed 100 items almost on Monday. This is my mindset too. I know we have holds on our accounts right now with eBay because we just got through all the verification gates. I know it's going to be slow. If you look at how much our accounts are up right now, both List Easier Books and List Easier Records, it's like greater than 1,000%. So already it's like way outlying. We put up way more items. We've sold way more stuff than most new accounts. So, the reins get pulled back a little bit. We're okay with that. We're just going to keep moving forward, doing what we know we need to do. And in 6 months' time, everyone's eating pizza. Hiya, folks, says Behind the Bubble Wrap. Good to see you. Jen says a little bit slower of a Monday. Yeah, that's brutal. Beard King Picker says, seems strange that two people on the same podcast together both got hacked. I don't know what's going on, though, Alex. One is most certainly a hack that happened through email. Like, John knows exactly what happened. The other one, there were reasons given with an appeal. So the way things are going on both accounts are very different. One looks like it had video takedowns or somebody maybe complained about something, and that has led to Beard having to file an appeal, like what is going on? The channel's been taken down. John's is like strict. It's through a credential phishing scam that happened through his email. So it is a coincidence that it's both on the same day, but they're having, I think, separate things happening, in my opinion. Tubatic says, hello, Josh. Will List Easier adapt or learn specific things to put into a title or not to put as you create more listings over time? I'm struggling with it adding things to sports cards listing titles. We have an innovation that we have finally nailed, and the technology has caught up with what has been innovated, and that will be launched shortly, although I can't give you a time, Tubatic, and you're going to love it. It will do exactly the thing that you want it to do. That will be a big, big, big one. So stay tuned. Like says, so I should have sent my Bitcoin to John. He said they can double them for me. Lag, please don't stir the pot on this. He is truly devastated by this. It's not. It's brutal. Tubatic says that aren't in the picture. Yeah, stay tuned, Tubatic. Stay tuned. Ren Resale says he's going to rebrand to YouTube Ain't Easy. Awful though, in all seriousness. Looking forward to him getting his account back. Yeah, I'll say this. Even for me, like I've been on YouTube now for 17 years. I've been kind of like floating, not floating, but I for a long period of time I talk about investing because that was my primary driver. So my goal was to build my personal wealth, and I was like follow my journey. And I just for years and years and years I did videos on investing. You can go back and look at buying stocks and investing in markets and investing in metals ETFs and all this other stuff. And so that was my YouTube journey, was just documenting that. It wasn't every single day. And I made friends in that community and we talked about it and we argued and it was a great time. And, now I feel like I've kind of, because of that, I'm reaping the rewards of that, 10 or 15 years later. I think this is going to be the same with List Easier and the document. I believe it will be the same thing where a few hundred people show up, they watch these videos, we do this every single day, and then in 10 years, the rewards will really be noticeable. Like outsized gains, outsized rewards, where it's like, oh wow, that really did, lead to something incredible. So I feel like my investing journey is starting all over again, only this time it is with artificial intelligence listing software and an e-commerce business where we're literally at the very front of a wave. Most people don't realize what's going on. And in the meantime, we're doing this and we're going to do this. And if you're just listening to the audio, building up our listings, essentially. Jen says, I like the mashed potato way also. Yeah, meat and potatoes, mashed potatoes every day. We eat mashed potatoes every day. That's what this is what the document is now. This is what the document is. We eat mashed potatoes every day. We do not change the meal. Mashed potatoes are working for us. We keep eating them, eating them, eating them, eating them every single day with a focus on the outside that if this becomes something that we shouldn't be doing or we need to change or whatever, we have enough time and energy and the ability to zoom out and be like, okay, we got to make some changes. But until that, these processes are well defined. They're bulletproof. They are our mashed potatoes. We eat them every day. Beard Picker says, I was a victim of Michael Saylor too. It's brutal. Just Beth Cooking says, I've been getting nonstop emails from fake Poshmark account trying to get my info, so beware. Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, the phishing scams are definitely out there. Mats127 says, thanks for the information about upgrading my growth account. I will contact Super Dave. Yeah, Super Dave will set you up. He'll do it quickly. It's no problem at all. Bearded Picker says, Van Allen belts and firmament are interesting. Laugh out loud. Beer King Picker says, what about what the podcast too? No way. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so Alex, the Profit Playbook podcast is connected to John's, like John is the one, when you see Profit Playbook podcast, the comments and everything, that's John. So he's set up that account through his Google. He can't get into his Google anymore. So that account is underneath that. He can't log in. So there's no real way of doing the Profit Playbook podcast. He's the one with all the credentials. So here we have John Flippin' Ain't Easy saying, account is still down. This is my burner account, I guess. Brutal. Eric Gunter says, the Profit Playbook podcast is still up and all the videos still show. Yeah, I just don't think John can log into it. I think that's what's going on. Lag is down for pizza party. What do you like on your pizza, Lag? You know how everyone says they don't like anchovies on pizza? I believe those people have never tried anchovies on pizza. I think they don't like fish, little fish with eyeballs on pizza. But if they close their eyes and were to eat it, it's actually delicious. I've had anchovies in pizza and in salad, and it is delicious. I don't like the idea of eating something with eyes that are looking at me, but it is delicious. It really is. Jen says, as Margaret Thatcher said, the problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money, universal basic income. And to flip it says, was John's email hacked too? I want to reach out, but not if it's been hacked. Yeah, no, I think his everything. I think everything attached to his Google account is not okay right now. John says it's okay if I could, I would laugh at myself too. Likes his story. Sorry, but pot stirring is my default. I hope they get their accounts back soon. We know, Lag. We know. It's all good. Yeah. John says his entire Google account is gone. Thankfully, I had that separate from my eBay and financials, etc. Yeah, I would definitely check everything, and just make sure. Just be careful out there. Mild Eye Melancholy Biff, haven't seen you in a while, says, I was looking for Beard's channel last night and saw Flipping 8 Easy was live, but it was a Bitcoin news show. How annoying. Sorry, guys. Really bummed. Yeah. Bummed out. I'm bummed for them. It's brutal. Lag says, use authenticator apps for max security. Yeah. Yep. John says, there's an entire world of people out there looking to hurt others. You don't see it until you are in it. Yeah, it's brutal. Lag says that Google supports this. And to flip it says, I was just rolling my eyes at yet another account that has me doing two-step verification. I guess I should be grateful. Oh yeah, two. So I'm going to say this about List Easier, guys. Remember all the way back, if you've been with me for a while, we always said the number one thing for us is trust, safety, compliance, and encryption, right? Those four things over and over and over again. Many times I came out here and said, some of these other apps, which I consider fly by night, be very careful because they are fishing for credentials. This was a conversation that Josh and I had extensively, Josh Graff and I, back and forth, but be very, very careful because eBay takes trust, safety, compliance, and encryption, or otherwise security, very, very seriously. It is the reason why on February 20th or 6th or whenever it is, they're getting rid of all these other fly-by-nighters, these scammy things that are going on. Be very careful, right? There was one out there, I'm not going to say who, but the payments, they were literally taking payments from people and then writing it down and processing them. Like that kind of stuff is a no. That kind of stuff is a no. I've said it from the beginning. I really want to hammer this home. We don't handle payments. It's done with the bank. Everything is fully encrypted. We don't handle any of your information. That's a direct connection with eBay. You do it through Auth0. We don't collect any of that information. Be very careful, right? This is your account. This is your business. This is your future. And when you see stuff like this, it's a reminder like, no, yes, this is very important. And it is important that eBay also is taking the time to prevent that stuff from getting on their site. So I'm sure they've seen this kind of wormy, weird stuff going on and they are putting an end to it. And once again, I speak for myself and everybody in this room and my co-founders. This is a good thing. Get rid of it. It's, we want it gone. So, but that was one thing. It was always like very much trust, safety, compliance, security, encryption. Number one. If people are going to trust you with their business, you got to make sure this thing is beyond secure. Take security to the next level. And that's the only way you can complete eBay's production audit. So if you want to operate at a high level through eBay, they will audit you through their API. If you want to maintain access, they'll audit your business. For us to partner up with a banking institution, they audit us. So they audit our software. That audit took 5 or 6 weeks. They went through all our software to make sure that we were operating at the highest bar. eBay does the same thing. So that's the right way to do things. I just want to put that out there. And it's flip. It says, I was just rolling my eyes at yet another account. Oh, okay, never mind. We got that. John Worldwide Weber says, I listed an item with a blemish, put a red arrow sticker pointing at the blemish, and List Easier picked it out and added it to the description. Very impressive. Yeah, we have those little Easter eggs, John. Stuff like that, that you only notice it if it's not there. But that kind of stuff is very, very helpful, definitely. So I'm glad you noticed that. It is a super cool feature. It's a little Easter egg. John and Bearded Picker both have 2 in the name. Yeah, like says that all YouTube accounts are Google accounts. Agreed. Yeah, plain cheese or pepperoni. Come on, lag. I like anchovies, but not everybody does, so I almost never get it on pizza. But mushrooms, green pepper, hot peppers for sure, and then pepperoni. Like that's the only meat I really wanted. That's my favorite. Diane Vanderlyn, what about poutine? Oh yeah, I just can't eat it anymore because I'll gain 1,000 pounds. But poutine is delicious, like a pulled pork poutine or a donair poutine. So good. I just can't eat it anymore. Beard doesn't like seafood. I love seafood, especially eyeballs. Fish on my pizza, throwing up. Oh, seafood is great. I love seafood. Yeah, there you go. Den Decor Depot says, if you eat Caesar salad, you've eaten anchovies. Exactly. We're way off topic. We're talking about pizza today, everybody. Um, Rin says, pressing pizza question, how much would you pay in one lump sum to eat pizza for the rest of your life with no health repercussions? No health repercussions are, that's the big thing there. So if I was fit as a fiddle and healthy, and the more pizza I ate, the healthier I would be. I don't know if that would be my go-to though, pizza. I like mashed potatoes, corn, and like pork chops. Like to me, that's the balanced meal that I could eat every single day of the rest of my life. Like the shake and bake pork chops. So good. A little bit of applesauce on top. Bearded Poke Tuber says anchovies are the main ingredient in Caesar dressing. Yes. And everybody orders Caesar salad. In its flip, it says Google keeps prompting me to add recovery emails. I guess that is on my list for today. Yeah, do it. Jen would pay $1,000 for pizza for life. Bearded Picker says I used 2FA with Authenticator and Apple Keys. They still got me. I don't open emails. I don't trust anything, and they got into my account. YouTube account and email are separate. Email and description, not the YouTube email. They are separate. Interesting. I'd like to see what Google says or YouTube says. Hustleman25 says, hello, everyone. Good to see you. Welcome. John does not like Bitcoin, by the way. Den Decor Depot says, will it be Canadian pizza? I remember having it when I was in Niagara Falls. It's gross. Pizza is gross, Den Decor. Lag eats pizza 3 days a week. That is not good. No, it's too much pizza, Lag. James hates pizza or Italian food, period. Also no seafood for me. James, I think you have I think your palate is very restricted. I saw that when we went out for Mexican food. You know what you like and you don't go outside of it. Jen's not a seafood fan. I do like Italian and pizza. Rin says James threw away years of trust and reputation by stating that he doesn't like pizza. I do like pizza though. We are now 40 minutes in. We have talked about what's going on with John and Scott and pizza and food. If this is not like the everyday, like what else can you say? I have nothing inspiring to say. I have nothing. It is just, I knew this was going to happen, actually. I knew that artificial intelligence and listing software was eventually just going to go into the background. I think John and Scott said it. it's like a cell phone. We don't talk about how awesome a cell phone is every day. We just use it. I think that's bridged the gap now with AI listing software. Everyone's like, yes, I use it. That's how we list stuff. And it's now like, it's not, there's nothing to say about it anymore. What do we say? Like before we had arguments, does it work? Doesn't it work? Who's using it? Who's not using it? Like what direction is it going? Can humans do it better? Can AI do it better? We had all those discussions. There's a clear winner now. People are using it. It's not across the board, but the narrative has changed. So even though it's not like every single eBay seller is using it, it is now accepted that this is how it is. So now there's nothing to talk about. What I don't know what to say. Is there anything we can say about it now? It's accepted that this is how it is now. What a change in 6 months since launch, from lots of pushback to just acceptance. Like, yeah, it's how it is. It's what we use. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about pizza. Let's talk about Italian food, anchovies. There's nothing to say. It works. What else do we say? Hello, Devon. Good to see you. Welcome. Glad to see you. It's been a while. I always try everything at least once. I try to find new stuff, says James. Den Decor Depot says the people that hate seafood haven't had fresh off the boat seafood. I wonder if it's a texture thing. When I was younger, like 18 or 19 years old, we had shrimp. Have you ever had the shrimp platters? But they are cold. So they like sit on ice. They have that little kind of salsa dip in the center, and you dip it and you eat the shrimp. I had one of those and I got food poisoning, and it turned me off of seafood, all seafood, for I don't know, 15 years. And then I started getting into it again, lobster and crab, and I'm like, oh, this is actually really good. Salmon, haddock, halibut is delicious. But one thing I cannot eat is oysters. And I would love to be able to eat oysters. I went to Boston, and there's an oyster hut there, and they have like all different types of oysters from all across North America and the world, like Arctic oyster, and it's like really fancy and everything, and people are shooting them, and it's very famous. And the smell was making me sick. I couldn't even stand inside the shop. I'm like, this making me sick. The smell of oysters makes me sick, which is a shame because I would like it. I wish I liked it. I just can't even get there with it. So you are a special type of person if you enjoy oysters. I can't force myself. The smell already makes my eyes water. Devon says Josh looks organized. I need to be organized. Super Dave is also he is largely responsible for this. Entirely responsible for this. Him and Spencer the Oracle, not me. Wouldn't look like this. It would be a bunch of different mismatched and mix-matched shelving would be what I would have done, and that's not the right way. Lucky Find says, last night I listed a Laserdisc unit for parts and list easier, added it on the description, no remote and no power cord. Really impressive. It's getting very good, Lucky Finds. Thank you. But it's getting very, very good. Devon says the big question is with AI is the big question about AI. Is it here to stay? Oh yeah, it's here to stay. AI is not going anywhere. AI is going to be ubiquitous. It's going to be the only way that people list on eBay. No question about it. It is going to be the way that we explore the cosmos. It will be the way that we re-onshore manufacturing. It will be the way that wars are fought. It's all AI. It's not going back. It's everywhere now. There are some industries that will lag. They will be kind of last because of liabilities like healthcare surgeries, but it's permanently here. So let's take advantage of it. Let's get on the first bus or the first plane out of Dodge and enjoy it and use it for at its full capacity so that we can grow our businesses and I don't know, amass wealth. There's nothing wrong with that. Rob's special interest says, remember, everything happens for a reason. New, better things will come to John and Scott, so chin up and start again. I agree 100%. Although, Rob, it is hard to see sometimes through the fog of war when, something you work so hard for is now, in limbo. But I'm sure they will both get back. I'm sure. James says you can start making the reselling YouTube trend videos or start bullying others. No, I don't want to do that. Mason Zion says, do you go through and proofread each listing List Easier makes or just send it as is? Yeah, we look at it. We don't pick through every description and I like this word or I don't like that word. We check to make sure it's accurate and then we send it live. And that's pretty much it. So if there's a word in there that it's maybe not the best word or whatever, and sometimes we have that where it will talk about the orchestra and someone will say, well, it wasn't really an orchestra, it was an octet. They'll write us to say it's not an orchestra, it's technically an octet, and we're like, okay, well, we'll switch it from orchestra to octet on this record. Even though it says orchestra on the record. Like sometimes stuff like that happens, but on the whole, Mason, the listings are super, super accurate, way more accurate than any humans could do on listings and faster. Lag just wants to talk about food. Let's just talk about food, Lag, no problem. No problem. I am a foodie. I like to go to restaurants. I like to eat out. I like to try new food. If I go on vacation somewhere, part of it is the cuisine and the experience of the cuisine. There are various parts across North America that have restaurants that I absolutely love or things that I absolutely love. And a lot of times when I think about those places, I also think about the food experience that I had there. Devon got really sick from lobster. Boo. Boo. I love a good lobster roll. Devon says, hello, I made it finally. Good to see you, Devon. I'm glad you're here. Amazon seller says, hey guys, yeah, sometimes a recovery email can bypass 2FA or one of these free PDF converters or YouTube video downloaders can copy your sessions and get in. Yeah, there's a lot of scammy people out there for sure. In it to flip, it says, I do, but I am overly picky and I don't list in bulk. Even doing this, I am still listing 4 to 5 times as much as I used to. Yeah, you just can't compare in it to flip it. You're 100% right. Beer King Picker Alex says, I'm on a seafood diet right now. I see food and I eat it. Devon says it looks good. Thank you, Devon. Lag loves fried oyster sandwiches and some spicy cocktail sauce. Interesting. Missy B says, good morning. We'll have to go back and re-listen. Ran out to grab and buy some stuff and I missed all the good stuff. We're having a chill one anyway, Missy B. We're just taking it easy. We're talking about food today. Nothing exciting is happening. We are just like, yeah, this is what we do. And usually I wake up and I feel super motivated to talk about something, but today it was kind of a damper and I was talking to my friends and they're going through all this stuff and I was kind of like, I feel down. I don't feel, but it'll be fine. It is what it is. So Sista Thrifta says cold shrimp on a platter with ketchup, horseradish sauce. We called it shrimp cocktail. It's a holiday favorite for my parties. Yeah. And that's what happened to me. It was at a Christmas party that I had it. And I was like, this is so good. And I ate like half the tray. I was sick. Oh, was I sick. Devon says Bitcoin is here to stay and is dumping for now. Lag is buying Bitcoin. John, you're inspiring everyone to buy Bitcoin right now. I don't know anything about Bitcoin. Yeah, Hustle Man says, is there a tutorial on how to use List Easier for listing one-offs? Yeah, if you go, Hustle Man, to List Easier U on YouTube, I'm going to type it in here. There. If you go to List Easier U, put it in the search bar on YouTube, you'll see the last video that was uploaded is called List Easier Flex, or how to use List Easier Flex, or full walkthrough List Easier Flex, or something like that. It will show you exactly how to do it. It's 7 minutes long. It's not going to take too long. It's very slowed down. It's kind of explaining everything, but once you get it, you'll be able to turn up the afterburners and really blast through it. Lag says, what's your favorite restaurant? I need recommendations. Oh, there is a restaurant local here called Pearl Morissette. I think is probably one of my favorites, but it's really hard to get a table. There is, I think it's called Chez Moi in Oakville. I went, was really good. I love the lobster rolls at Sam's in Half Moon Bay. Oh, where else? So many places. One of my favorite restaurants was, I was in Iceland in a place called Huffin, which is all the way on the eastern part of the island. And all the food in Iceland was terrible up to that point. And we were hungry, we were traveling, and went into this like really nice restaurant. They happened to just seat us, and the food was fresh and delicious. And it was like, oh, this is amazing. I can't believe this. It felt like so secluded because you land in Iceland, it's like landing on Mars. It's not really great food. You drive this huge long distance. It's very windy, it's very cold and everything. And you get into this warm restaurant and you're like, oh, it's delicious. And it was called Pakhus, and I'm going to put it in. Maybe that's my favorite experience ever in my life. Pakhus in Huffin, Iceland. And there is an umlaut over that O, so I put the E instead. That was probably my favorite dining experience ever in my entire life. It just was so welcome. It was at such the right time, and it was just incredible. It was incredible. So I think that was probably my favorite one ever. So if you ever get a chance, go there. It was incredible. It was just an amazing experience. What's your favorite restaurant, Lag? You don't have to tell me if it's going to give up your ID. Devon says, I need to get my passport so I can visit Canada soon. Absolutely. Come on up here. You're always welcome. John Worldwide Weber says, talked with a friend. He was worried about how AI might affect his 3 children in their professional jobs. I told him AI is a tool they need to master to be secure in their jobs. People who are growing up right now are, that's going to be what their life looks like. So as parents, we have to be careful and say, like, we can't say the things like, you get away from a screen almost. I hate to say it. Or don't, get outside. Like, I say those things to my kids, but I really have to be careful because I know that their future is going to look like that. So get outside, be healthy, use your body, play sports, study, learn all these other things. But I know that their future is going to look very different than what my future did at their age. So I have to recognize that and make sure that I don't have my own biases. Like, you're going to grow up in a different world where AI is going to be ubiquitous. We are building AI systems. List Easier is building AI systems. Those systems will be built by the time they come in to their jobs, right? And the new thing I think will probably be aerospace, but those systems will be there, and they'll almost take it for granted that that's how it is. My daughter is 9. She will grow up with AI as being fully woven into society. And all of us will be, older and, well, I remember a time and this and that, but that's not their reality. Devon had a good sale this morning. Nice. Sue, good to see you. Welcome. I love your photo there of the sunset. That's beautiful on the water. I got in late. It's good to see you, Sue. Welcome. Sue asked what happened to Beard and John. Beard's account was suspended by YouTube, it looks like, and John has had his credentials hacked through some email phishing scam on YouTube. So both of them this morning. Hustle Man says, thanks so much, appreciated. You are welcome. Luke Coin says, smash the like button. Thank you, Lou. Charlie, appreciate you. And there is me under Dave's name putting in Pakhus, which is in Hoof Iceland. Like says, I will try it next time I'm in Iceland. It sounds good. Yeah. Don't listen to what anyone says. Food in Iceland is not great, but there it was. Um, I really like good spicy Mexican food. Um, that is my latest thing, and seafood, of course. We caught our own salmon in Alaska. Caught our own salmon and our own halibut, and then we did it lightly on the barbecue, like fresh. That was up there as probably the best fish I've ever had in my life. Definitely. Diane wants to go to Banff. It's beautiful there, Diane. I went there like 20 years ago. It is so beautiful. But there's a highway. If you ever go to Banff in Alberta, there's a highway that connects Banff and Jasper. And you drive through the Rockies, you have to do that drive. You see bighorn sheep, elk, bear, like they come right to the side of the road. Mountain goat, um, it's all there. It's pretty incredible. So that is worth it. Rent a car and then do that trip between the two. Yeah, like says we have some of the best Mexican food here locally, and that's a problem in Canada. Is the Mexican food is not great at all. Um, Guessadra says my favorite beer is Beer Barrel, but I think it's only in Hawaii, or it's only in Ohio. Learn to talk, Josh. Also, Villanova's in Columbus, Ohio. Never been to Beer Barrel before, ever. Chicken bake at Costco is pretty good. Hard to beat for about $4. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. Shortcoin says, my son went to Banff last year on his spring break and it was beautiful. Are people hacking YouTube? It looks like it's happening through email, Devon, through their email. So getting phishing emails and then clicking on links and then putting in credentials, it looks like is what's going on. Diane says it's opposite here in Florida. Then I visit my Calgary hockey friends. It's cold up there. What's my favorite restaurant chain and no fast food? I don't know. It changes. I mean, I don't go to the roadhouses, lag, really. I mean, for me, if I'm gonna have a sit down nice experience, I'm gonna go to like a restaurant that, something unique or something that's got fresh stuff. I know you said no fast food, but probably Chipotle. Like, I just think Chipotle is really good. I really think it's good and it's good in a pinch. Um, I this now everyone's gonna unsubscribe here. I even like Mighty Taco. I said it. You know what? Their burritos are pretty good, actually. I said it, everyone. Mighty Taco has good burritos. There's also Der Dutchman in Ohio. It's like Amish buffet style. So good. We're all going to have huge lunches now. Primo wants to go to Hawaii. Heck yeah. Devon says that I have a cabin in Montana, only 6 hours from the Canadian border. That is awesome. Devon says you have to be careful with emails. I agree. Diane says I get a kick out of the Calgary rivalry with Edmonton. Yeah, Edmonton is a tough town. Calgary is, I mean, if it was a battle between Calgary and Edmonton, and I think this is all Edmonton Oilers and Calgary Flames stuff, because way back in the day, the Edmonton Oilers had the best team because they had Messier and Gretzky and everything else. They won Stanley Cup, but they're way tougher in Edmonton. It is a tough town. It is a tough town, or at least it used to be. Okay, everyone, with that, thank you all for joining me today. What do we take from this episode? Nothing. We talked about food and what we do, where we dine, and to also be very careful with your security and make sure that you know who you're sending your credentials to and it's going to the right people. Just be very careful with that, and everything is encrypted and safe and secure. That's very important. And I think we all deserve a hearty lunch today, or dinner if it's past your lunch. So I'm going to get myself something nice today. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think we deserve it. There's also a place. Oh, lag. There's a place called Firehouse Subs, and I don't know if they have it. I think only in the northern states. Firehouse Subs. Get the hook and ladder sub. I mean, I don't know. It's probably 13 or 1400 calories, maybe more. Worth it. Worth it. Okay, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully I'm back. I'm back in my business mindset tomorrow, but today I wasn't. Thank you. I appreciate